I thought maybe we could change things up a bit for this episode. Judging from social media, the only legal issues people are really interested in these days are whether you can keep pet tigers, laws about polyamorous relationships, and what kind of federal sentence you can expect for hiring a hitman.
Well, on FindLaw.com, we do have exotic animal laws for every state, and apparently people are visiting them frequently. I keep seeing our pages shared on Twitter and Facebook, and it's apparently the first place to go after watching Tiger King.
So what's your plan here, Joe? Change your last name to Exotic, dye your hair blonde, grow a mullet?
Yes.
It's not like I get out now anyway. Might as well have a party in the back.
A mullet is a fantastic idea, Joe. Just so long as you're wearing pants. That's the joke now, right? I've seen that everywhere now that people are working from home.
Yeah, I've seen that too. And, speaking of suddenly relevant legal issues, it's probably not a good idea to ask coworkers if they're wearing pants, right? We can't do that.
No, we can't. However, some people do need reminding that pants are not optional for business meetings, virtual or otherwise. We're only a few weeks into this self-quarantining thing, and already we have a lot of examples of people not understanding this whole how to work from home appropriately thing.
Wait, are you trying to tell me that someone just went full-on Donald Duck in a work video conference?
Not at FindLaw, to be clear, but yeah, it's happening all across the world these days.
Good thing that today we're talking about working from home, how to manage it, what tech you need, and plenty of talk about what not to do. And since everyone has finished watching Tiger King, we'll try to provide you with a little more entertainment too.
Thanks for joining us on Fine Laws Don't Judge Me. And for the record, yeah, we're all wearing pants.
Welcome to Find Laws Don't Judge Me, the podcast about the real life of lawyering. I'm Laura Temme, and I'm joined by our usual crew, Allie Marshall.
Hello.
Hi. Joe Fawbush.
Hey, y'all.
And Andy Leonatti.
How's it going, Laura?
Well, we're all recording from home, so I guess I'll ask the group, how is everybody doing?
Not well.
It has been an adjustment, for sure.
Yeah, I miss people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I miss sitting in a hot, cramped studio with you guys.
Oh, that's so sweet. Well, today we're going to talk about some of the complexities of working from home, tech that you might need, how to keep it professional in your video conferences. Some of us have some personal stories to tell.
Keep it professional or keep it real?
Both. Yeah. I don't know. I think that's a line that you have to find yourself.
Oh, I found it.
I know you did. Well, so Andy, do you want to kick us off with your personal story of a little bit of a remote work mix-up?
I would be honored. This is a true story for our listeners out there, and it took place only a couple of weeks ago. At FindLaw, you are part of a small team, but then your small team is then part of many other small teams that make up a bigger team. And so we were having a very large team meeting a couple Friday afternoons ago. I'd say there were at least 50 people in this meeting, right, everyone?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, at least.
At least.
Oh, I think more. Sorry to freak you out, but yeah, more for sure.
It's okay. So the four of us also had a little side chat going on in a different program during this meeting. And that right there, folks, is lesson number one.
Yep.
Just, I don't care.
Do not live tweet the meeting.
I do not care what the meeting is. I don't care if you're bored to tears. Just resist the urge at all costs. Because when you don't, something like what I'm about to tell you could happen. So we were getting a little bit rowdy in that chat, making jokes, going back and forth, making fun of each other. And yours truly here tried to tell Allie in a joking manner to get out of here. And,
yes, that's not what you said.
And much to all of our surprise, I didn't type it in our private chat. I typed it in the team meeting chat. And I didn't say get out of here. I said fudge off. Only I didn't say fudge either. I said the word,
Yeah.
the big one, the queen mother of dirty words.
And I think I about fell out of my chair, honestly.
I did too.
I did too.
felt
I
terrible.
got up and left the room because I couldn't handle it anymore. Like, it was painful. It was horribly painful.
Yeah, that's right, folks. The F dash word.
Yeah.
I think they get it, Andy.
Just
I don't think you have to belabor this.
just relaying this story makes me go numb all over again. I think I really did feel my soul leave my body in that point 0.1 seconds that elapsed between me hitting enter, seeing it go up on the WebEx chat, and then in my head was just I don't even think I can describe to you what transpired in my head.
I think I heard a dial tone in my brain, honestly.
Yeah.
I saw it and I just realized like it was like slow motion. And then Joe and I were hopping into our chat and going, Andy, that was the wrong window.
Yep. And I tried to figure out how to delete it, but I don't know.
The best part was you all telling me that I did it after I already realized that I did it. I mean, this all unfolded in like literally a half a second. But like by the time Joe messaged me saying like, Leonetti, I was like, in my head, I was already like, I know, God.
So what's the moral of the story here, Andy?
And also, no, I will give a special shout out to Shannon, one of our coworkers, who very deftly tried to just type a lot of messages in the chat box to make my little error move just like up the chat and disappear from the screen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Shannon, you're the best.
I think, Andy, honestly, though, that is an experience that probably a lot of people around the country and the world are facing and encountering these days, lawyers too. So thank you for putting yourself out there and sharing that story to us, right?
After a round of apologies and self-flagellation, the waters quickly calmed, and that's because we work at a very understanding place full of people who are like, yeah, stuff happens. It's all good. Like, you realize you weren't supposed to do that, right? And I was like, no, I'm very happy I did it. No, that's a joke. Yet again, I realized that should not have happened.
Well, I apologize for being super annoying and requiring that response from you.
Yeah, it was your fault. It was your fault.
I was my fault. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was, and after I logged back onto my computer on Monday morning and I saw that there were no angry messages waiting for me, I quickly moved into like, okay, this is very funny territory in my brain. And I've thought about all the ways that this could have been so much worse.
Oh yeah, we've heard a lot of stories over the last couple of weeks of people doing things that are much worse, like not wearing pants on a video conference, or
Why?
That one I really can't figure out. Or
How is it comfortable?
that I don't know. Or we had a story go around between the four of us. Was that judge in Brazil, where there was a judge on a video conference who was shirtless. And we've heard about attorneys being shirtless for hearings, and it just I don't know. I don't have words for it.
Yeah,
Wear clothes, people. Wear all of them. Wear all of your clothes just to be on the safe side. We can see you and we can hear you. Also, mute yourselves. Mute yourselves if you're not talking.
The mute button is your friend.
Yeah.
So just so that in case nobody has seen this in our audience yet. So what Laura was talking about was there's a judge in Miami, I believe.
Why did I say Brazil?
Broward County, close.
I don't know why I said that.
There was one in Brazil as well. This is happening around the world. Yeah. So the one in Brazil involved an actual judge who was getting on a conference with other judges, and he just appeared initially without his shirt, and this was a public thing that anybody could access. And he just kind of calmly looked up and then left and then came back with his shirt on yeah, this is what happened.
Like nothing to
That's
see
the
here.
Seinfeld episode. That's where George takes his shirt off in the bathroom at his girlfriend's house, and he comes out, and there's a party happening too, and he comes out without his shirt on, and you see the horror wash over his face as he like realizes what he's done as he's standing there in this room full of people with Dockers and a belt, dress shoes, and no shirt on.
But I feel like some of these examples involves a shocking lack of self-awareness. Like, I don't think some people even realize, or that, first of all, that it's important to wear clothes if you're going to be appearing on camera, or second, that they can be seen. I don't know what it is, but...
Yeah, it was Broward Circuit Judge Dennis Bailey who said that lawyers have zoomed into hearings shirtless, under covers in bed,
Gosh.
and in beach wraps out by a pool.
Oh, well, aren't they lucky? It's still
So-
snowing here, so,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's cool.
Now, here is the one thing, though. When you're in a small apartment, which you may be in Miami, and you have a court appearance that you have to be at, and you have small children as well, there's only so many places that you can go in your apartment. So, I don't think like being in bed under the covers is unnecessary. But, I do think judges should be understanding if you're in a background where, you wouldn't ordinarily be. Like if you need to go to your bedroom or, your closet just so that you won't be interrupted by your children or your dogs, I think that's okay. And, with Zoom, you can do different backgrounds and that sort of thing to just get rid of anything in the back, which would be good. But yeah, I mean, some of the attorneys, you do question just what they were thinking and if they've ever done video chat before. Just because, who would think it's a good idea to do it without a shirt on? I mean,
Or
I
in
feel
your
like
bed, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like judges will be understanding and opposing counsel's understanding, but if you're like clearly not taking it seriously enough or remaining professional, then they're going to call you out as they should.
Well, and I think it's one thing to forget that you have some kind of strange artwork on your wall behind you, which is also a pro tip that I learned doing video interviews, actually, when I did a take of something and then realized I had a poster from a play that I worked on that was really weird on the wall behind me. And I just, oh no. So I took that down and redid it. But I think that's one thing to, realize that you have something strange in the background. But taking your laptop to the bathroom with you during a meeting. Just wait until the meeting's over.
Yep.
That poor woman.
And I've seen more than one of those that people keep making that mistake.
That poor woman out there, she had it way worse than I did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you can do things to control some of this, like blurring your background. A lot of video call platforms will allow you to do that, or have a virtual background. I mean, you could be calling in your meeting from, Disney World or wherever.
Ooh, the bridge of the Starship Enterprise.
Ooh, that would
There
be
you
cool.
go. Or something more professional. For me personally, I have older children, so that's less of a worry right now. But like my spouse thinks it's hilarious to walk behind me during calls, and so I need to like give him a heads up when not to do that, when it's not appropriate. And then little kids, I think that's something that you have to figure out. For those meetings or calls with the court or something that you really want to minimize the possibility of the kid flying in, like that guy on the interview in South Korea. Kids flying in and the mom after him.
Sorry. That dad's way too uptight. Those kids are cute.
Oh no, he was fine with it. I thought he handled it pretty well, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean but when you have little kids, like you don't know you can't always anticipate, you can't always keep them out of the picture, and I think people are mostly understanding of that.
Yeah, Allie, your son who always wants to give you a hug is
it's very cute.
is the best. He's the best.
It is.
Well, Yeah, that cuddle time, I try to schedule it so that he doesn't, but he really likes to join these calls. And then my oldest, who you guys never hear because he's a teenager now and doesn't want to be on any type of recording ever. When he was 4, I was on a conference call with a judge and he yelled to me from the top of the stairs, "I gotta go poop." Oh, no. And I hit mute just in time, but it could have been bad.
That's
I'm
great.
sure they would have understood and laughed, but still, it's hard to be professional from home. Mm-hmm. It's really hard.
It is.
Yeah. Unfortunately, though, if you're in Judge Bailey's courtroom, he says you're going to earn the same amount of respect that you're shown.
Yeah, that seems fair to some extent.
Judge Bailey, let's cut people slack on the T-shirts.
Well, that does make me think, because, most of us have worked from home pretty regularly for at least the last couple of years. And, there really are some things that you can do to make it a little easier on yourself. Like creating your own workspace where you go to every day. Don't multitask, like.
No, I've come to loathe that workspace too, Joe.
Yeah, but at least then, see, if you keep your own workspace in the house and you do come to loathe it, then at least the rest of the house is safe, right? Because then you're done with the day and then you can go to the rest of the house where it's like not a work environment, right? I mean, the problem happens when you can never feel like you're away from work because you've always got your laptop with you in every room and everybody can contact you whenever, and there's no real end of the workday because, you're just at home all the time. So I do think that having that workspace, you may not look forward to it, just like you may not look forward to going to work in the morning, but at least then it's a little bit of a
I'd never feel that. I'd never.
No, I know. I'm talking to the audience.
Yeah,
Andy,
I don't know what
course.
that's like.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I do think it helps, and I do think it helps to not multitask. I mean, it's super hard now because everybody's kids are home with them as well, and so there's always something to do with like helping kids with schoolwork and cleaning up the house, and there's all sorts of things to do.
Oh, the dishes. The dishes.
Yeah.
Why are there so many dishes right now?
I know.
I mean, I know why, but it's annoying.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not used to having 3 meals a day at home, right? I mean, so yeah, we're running the dishwasher.
the meal planning is all out of whack. Yeah.
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 Oh, yeah.
Yeah, one of our coworkers said the other day in a meeting, like, if I eat Sloppy Joes one more time, I'm going to lose my mind.
Yeah.
That is such a Midwestern thing to say.
It was really funny.
so many Sloppy Joes.
So many
tell ya.
Sloppy Joes.
So I wanted to get back to the video fails a little bit.
Joe's here for reveling in other people's pain, apparently.
Pretty much, yes. It's why we all
I
get
love
into
it.
podcasting, isn't it?
Pretty much. Yeah. That's why I do anything, really.
No, but we were talking about blurring the screen behind you, and that's a good idea. And then Zoom, I know, has different backgrounds that you can do. But I did see a couple of instances where Zoom got confused, and instead of blurring the background, they actually blurred the person talking. And so it would be just you in your living room talking to like a potato. I mean, that's an actual
I saw
example.
that story.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
that's
I've seen
real. That is
I've seen
real.
the
A woman
potato
accidentally
background.
turned herself into a potato for an entire
Oh, I did
meeting.
see that. That was funny.
Yeah.
It was wild.
And she couldn't figure out how to fix it, so she just had to be a potato for the entire meeting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love. Oh. I would be a potato.
Oh, man. The tech side of this stuff can be really difficult, even outside of turning yourself into a potato. Especially as attorneys, we have some security issues that we have to worry about as far as confidentiality. If all of a sudden you're conducting all your meetings via video chat, you have to find ways to make sure that everything is secure. I've written a couple things about this that we can definitely put in the show notes. But a couple tips that I wanted to bring up.
Don't use Zoom.
Zoom, yes. Actually, Zoom has had some data privacy issues. So I think my biggest tip would be to check for end-to-end encryption and make sure to read whether or not they actually have it, because that's the issue that Zoom ran into. They were saying that they had end-to-end encryption, but in reality, the company itself had access to the audio and video that people were using, and that has caused a lot of problems.
Oh, tisk Zoom.
Yeah. And who knows, maybe they're going to be fixing it now that a lot of people are using Zoom. You also want to make sure that your Wi-Fi is secure, which one easy thing you can do is make sure to change the name of your router and the password. I pretty recently learned that.
To NSA.
Really?
That's my favorite router. Yeah, that's my favorite name.
I can't wait. I got to change the password that comes from the ISP.
Yes. And you want to change the name of the router as well. Or at the very least, if you want to keep the password, change the name of the router. Because the problem is, if you keep your router named, Netgear 45 or whatever, if a hacker is looking through the list of Wi-Fi networks wherever you live, and they see that Netgear, then they know they have access to the default passwords that Netgear has. And so it just makes knowing what type of router you have makes it that much easier for them to hack
That
it.
is unsettling.
It is. I learned that fairly recently, and you bet I changed mine.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed the trove of data: China, Russia, Kazakhstan, whoever else.
So that is a really good way to make your Wi-Fi a little bit more secure if you're worried about confidentiality. Another good way to do it is to use a VPN, which is a virtual private network, for anyone who hasn't heard of that before. A lot of them are free. A lot of them come with other security packages, like your antivirus for your computer. And basically it just sort of scrambles your network so that and connects it to a secure server, so that it just makes your internet connection harder to hack. So that's another, I guess, pro tip too.
Is scramble the technical?
Scramble is the technical term. I'm a lawyer, not an IT guy, okay?
Damn it, Jim, I'm a lawyer, not an IT.
These are just things that I've learned over the years.
So, Laura, what are some of the best video chat options? I mean, I think you've
Sure.
used a couple of different ones, right?
I have, yeah. And I've done a little bit of research on this. And it depends a little bit on whether you want a free connection or security. You just kind of have to do the research to determine what's going to work best for you and your business. Let's see. So a couple of the good ones. Apple users actually can use FaceTime. That is end-to-end encrypted, so that's fairly safe as far as contacting clients and that kind of thing. WhatsApp, which is a pretty popular international texting platform that works on Wi-Fi, is free and also offers end-to-end encryption. And then probably the most secure would be a service called Wire, which is a paid subscription, but they have the encryption you need, and they also have different encryption keys for every message. So it's just that much more secure. So if you have meetings that you really want to ensure no one, including your internet service provider or the platform provider, is going to have access to, then that is probably an option to look into.
So I want to ask a WhatsApp question though, because
Sure.
they're owned by Facebook,
They are.
and so you can see I'm about to put on my tinfoil hat
Yep.
here, but does that mean that Facebook does not have access to a conversation on WhatsApp?
Correct. Yes.
Because I have an extremely, extremely hard time believing that.
I
But
know. Yeah. From what I understand, WhatsApp uses true end-to-end encryption, which means that the only people who have access to that information are the sender and the receiver. So in general, even WhatsApp doesn't have access to that data,
Okay.
as long
Sweet.
as it's true end-to-end encryption. And again, that's the issue that Zoom ran into, is that theirs was sort of this pseudo encrypted connection that wasn't exactly doing what people thought it was.
Yeah, I don't want to have a WhatsApp conversation with someone and then get one of those like insane Facebook ads that's like
Right. Yeah.
geared specifically to someone from Macoupin County, Illinois, who lives in Hennepin County, Minnesota, and it's like some
You know, you're
t-shirt.
helping people triangulate your location right now, right?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, zip it.
All of our fans are going to show up at your door.
There's a lot of people in Hennepin County.
That's true. That's true. There's
Here's my
like,
yearbook photo and the year I graduated. Here's where I live.
Well, Paul already made us give out our last names. Super producer Paul, the man who makes the magic happen. So I think the ship has sailed.
He's in on it.
the main thing with all of this is just to do your research and find the best option for your needs. Yeah, just read the fine print, I would say.
And don't curse in the chat, folks.
And don't curse in the chat.
So, Laura, that was good information, but I really want to get back to video fails.
Yes.
You are like a dog with a bone today.
I just can't get away from it. So who's got a video fail to end with?
I have one. I recently heard a story about a Harvard law student, actually, who in a virtual classroom meeting decided it was a good time to show his classmates his gun.
Ooh, I heard about this
It's
actually.
not a good time.
Yeah, and I don't exactly recall the details or why he did this, but I would just say that's probably a don't do. It's just
Was it
not
a con law class?
I think it was. And
So, I mean,
I don't think it was
Arguably relevant.
probably, and I don't know if it was exactly intended to intimidate anyone or anything like that, but I would say it's still just something to avoid. It's not necessary, and it's most likely going to freak some people out.
So
yeah.
basically, don't bring your guns to a meeting, whether it's your shirt off or your actual guns.
Yes.
just put the guns away.
Boo, Joe.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's about as good as it's going to get here on Fine Laws Don't Judge Me, so we'll
He's
just
proud of
wrap it up
himself.
there. Okay, we're going to take a break for a minute, and when we come back, we have a very special surprise cooked up for Andy, our resident non-lawyer.
Save valuable time finding and verifying authority, gain an understanding of what relevant cases your opponent may have omitted, and discover peace of mind that your final brief cites the most relevant authority with QuickCheck on Westlaw Edge. QuickCheck quickly and securely analyzes your work or your opponent's to suggest highly relevant authority, related briefs and memoranda, and secondary sources that traditional research may have missed. After your document is analyzed, an easy-to-review report is produced that includes targeted suggestions organized by the headings extracted from your document and key site warnings for the cases you already cited. Learn more about QuickCheck on Westlaw Edge by visiting tr.com/quick-check.
All right, we're back, and we have something very special planned for Andy, don't we?
We do. As many of you already know, our team includes 3 of us lawyers and that other guy, Andy, who's not a lawyer. So we thought it might be fun to train him, and I use train in quotes, training Andy to be a lawyer, except for we're not going to use the Socratic method.
No, definitely not. Instead, we decided Andy should be trained on some of the more physical requirements of being a lawyer. The actual learning of the law can come later or never. Allie, are you ready to train him?
I am ready, Joe. Andy, I'm going to need you to grab some items from around your home.
Am I going to have to put on a suit for this? I really hate wearing a suit.
Nah, quarantine rules. Here's what you're going to need to have on hand. A headband
Check.
of some sort. All right. A big pile of paper,
Got him.
some heavy books,
All right.
an inflated sense of self-importance. And if you don't have that at home, sriracha sauce or any kind of quinoa will do.
Incidentally, I do have all the food, but I got the ego for this.
All right, cool. And then water, because of course we always want to make sure that we're staying well hydrated.
I am drinking water out of a Thomson Reuters branded water bottle that instructs me to bring my thirst for knowledge. So we're
Oh, that's
there we go.
amazing. Perfect. Okay. The first exercise we're going to do is called the burpee of proof.
I hate burpees.
All right. Are you ready?
No.
Okay. So, in this exercise, you have to prove that a company was negligent in their actions. So grab that stack of papers in your
Is this
hands.
big enough?
Are you ready? Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't feel like a strong case, but we'll go with it.
This is a Bluff City law case.
Wow, what a callback.
Ding. All right. So put it on the ground and then kick out your feet, just like a regular burpee.
Okay.
Making sure your papers and your hands stay secure and organized, and then jump back up. Still carrying the stack of papers, and then at the end you have to yell preponderance.
Okay.
All right, ready? Go.
Nicely done.
Preponderance.
Louder.
Okay, that's one.
Preponderance.
Again.
That's two.
Feel the burn. You're winning your case, Andy.
Preponderance.
You're winning your case.
Yay.
All right, one more.
Three.
Preponderance.
Okay, one more. All right. So now we're going to move on to the squat and object. So as a
Okay.
litigator, you really need to know your rules of evidence and know them well and on your feet. So start in the squat position. Are you there, Andy?
No.
Okay,
Not
get
yes.
there. Get there by the time Laura starts. So Laura, are you willing to be the witness in this case, Mrs. Snarfleblatt?
Snarfleblatt. Sure.
Thank you. Okay. Mrs. Snarfleblatt, what did Mr. Johnson say to the defendant on the night in question?
Well, he said,
Objection! Jump, Andy, jump. Keep squatting and jumping up and yelling objection.
Objection. Objection.
Oh my God.
One more.
The objection.
Okay, what rule of evidence would you cite in this case?
Her testimony is boring, and it sucks.
Not a rule.
How dare you?
Not a rule. But let's move on. You get the point. Okay, the final exercise before you, or before I think you can be officially trained as a lawyer, is the book press. So grab that stack of heavy books. All right, tell me when you're ready. Oh, that is pretty
wow.
big.
Ooh.
I like it. Yes, that is good. Okay. So we often have to carry around heavy books in our jobs, and sometimes we even read them. So grab the books, lay on the floor, and lift them high above your face. But don't drop them on your face, Andy. That's a different workout.
Hey, you don't want to break the moneymaker.
Okay, so lift it up, and as you lift up that book, you have to shout the rule against perpetuities.
Oh no.
I'm having bar exam flashbacks.
Oh.
The rule against What was it?
Perpetuities, Andy.
Perpetuities.
The rule. No, you know what? Screw it.
All right. Well, recitation of rules, it's how you know you're learning and growing. In any case, Andy, I think we've put you through enough, so I won't make you do the cross-examination fit or the briefcase lunges today. Joe and Laura, what do you think? How's Andy done today?
You know, I almost gave up after the rule against perpetuities myself, so
Yeah.
I can't blame Andy for that little hiccup. So yeah, no, I think you did well, Andy.
Yeah, I think you're ready for the real life of lawyering. Oh, for your next workout, we can make you do the paper chase.
I don't think so.
Well, thanks, Andy. I think you did a great job. And before
Preponderance.
we go, oh my God. Before we go, we have a special message in true work from home fashion from Joe's daughter.
Hi.
Thanks for listening. Stay safe.
Thanks for listening. Stay safe.
Now go right up to the mic and say it again, really in a loud voice.
Thanks for listening. Stay safe.
Perfect. Good job. See, everybody's cheering. Yay!
Yeah, good job. Good
Yay.
job.
Great.
All right, thank you, honey.
Thank you so much for joining us on this week's episode of Fine Laws Don't Judge Me. We hope you're all staying safe and well, and that we can provide a helpful break. Visit the COVID-19 Resources Center on our law firm management page at practice.finelaw.com for information on working remotely, helpful technology, and maintaining mental health. We'll continue to update that page as the situation develops. We'll also provide links to content referenced in the episode in the show notes. If you have a minute to spare, please rate and review our show wherever you listen to podcasts. Stay strong, stay home if you can, and stay tuned.